All right. So as we take our positions, getting ourselves started for our yoga class today, we'll lay all the way down on our backs in what's called corpse pose, also known as Shavasana. In Shavasana, you want your legs about as wide as your hips. Roll your shoulders down into the mat, and then take your hands onto the floor. Your palms are facing up to the ceiling. Now I want everyone to turn your head so your nose is pointing straight to the ceiling. Go ahead and close your eyes. Now we're going to focus on our breathing. In yoga, it's really important that we take a moment and we reflect. And what reflection means is we take kind of like an X-ray of our entire body. I want us to start at our toes. Notice our feet. Come up through our ankles, our calves, our shins. And we keep scanning all the way up past our knees, into our thighs. Now up in through our hips. Maybe we even need to wiggle to get our hips into the right position. Maybe we were tilted a little bit. When we come up in through the belly, and when we come up to the belly, I want you to take a big breath in, feel the stomach rise up to the sky. And then when we take that big exhale, we relax, we melt like the wax on a candle down into the floor. We're continuing that scan, coming up through our rib cage, our chest. Maybe we even take a moment here and we notice our heart. Can you feel your heartbeat? Continuing our scan across our shoulders. Again, maybe we do a little wiggle, finding ourselves neutral. Neutral just means our normal, natural position. Come down through the arms, the biceps, the wrists, maybe even wiggle the fingers. Notice how the hands are feeling today. Finally, we come up in through the neck. How's the neck feeling? Are we on the very back of our head, supporting the flat part of our skull with our nose still pointing up to the ceiling? Are we squeezing the muscles in our face, or are we relaxing them, letting our eyebrows go, letting our eyelashes just stay soft? So this is Shavasana. We'll start and end our class in this position, relaxing, focusing on our breathing, noticing the sounds that we hear around us, noticing how we feel, and noticing any thoughts that are racing around in our head. In yoga, we want to focus on right now, on our body, on our breathing. So anything else that's running around in our head, we just set that in a box, put the lock on it, put the key in your pocket, and set it aside. Anything that's important will be there and we can take it out of the box after yoga. And that's going to let us really take care of our mind and our body. Now in our next big breath in, big inhale, reach those arms all the way up above our head. Reach them long, morning stretch, just like you're taking a big yawn. We just woke up, big stretch. Oh, let your rib cage, your back, everything open up off the floor. I want us to hold on to our right wrist and pull it a little bit farther. Make the right arm get a little bit longer. And then go ahead and hold on to that left wrist. Give that a little bit of a pull, make it a bit longer. Oh, big stretch. And then we release that, taking our arms down by our side. Bring both knees into our chest. Go ahead and give yourself a huge hug. As we hold on to our knees, just rocking side to side. Noticing how our hips feel, how our knees feel. Maybe if it doesn't feel good holding on to our shins, we hold our hands under our thighs instead. We can just gently rock right to left. Very good. Now keeping a hold of those knees, go ahead and just roll our ankles. Roll the ankles. Keeping a hold of our right knee, lowering that left leg all the way down to the floor and pulling the right knee open out towards the right shoulder. Now in this stretch, we're hugging the right knee and we're really pressing the left leg down into the mat. We may feel a little bit of a stretch down across the hips and through the legs. What I want us to do is keep our shoulders and our head relaxed on the floor. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, relax the leg down. Inhale, bring the left knee into the chest, give it a squeeze. We'll open the knee out towards the left shoulder, really firmly pressing that right leg down into the ground. Relaxing the shoulders and the mat, keeping the muscles in our face relaxed and soft. Bringing the knee back up. And exhale, release down. Taking our feet flat onto the floor, knees are going to stay bent about 45 degrees with our arms coming down by our sides. Roll the shoulders into the mat. Make sure we're sturdy on our shoulders, level with our hips, and flat with both feet. We want the toes and the heels staying glued to the ground. We're coming into glute bridges. So with our bridge, we inhale, lift our hips up to the ceiling. Exhale, slowly lower down. Good. Inhale, lifting the hips up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Do this 2 more times. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower, activating through the hips. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, lower down. Good. We're going to keep working our core muscles, taking those abdominal muscles and squeeze them nice and tight. Bring our hands to the side of our head. We'll do a few abdominal crunches. Tuck the chin a little bit around your apple. Take an apple from your chin and hold it with your chest. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders up. Exhale, lower down. Keep the apple between chin and chest. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, we want to just work on tightening those ab muscles. Lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good work. Hands come down to the floor. We'll slowly cross our right foot over our left knee, coming into a figure 4. So the reason this is called a figure 4, if I just stand up so you can see me, is if we cross the foot over the knee, see how I'm making the shape of a number 4 with my legs? All right, so staying on the ground, we'll cross that right foot over the left knee. Using our right hand, let's press the knee open. So that means we push it away from the face. Try to keep your shoulders on the ground and keep your hips from twisting. Notice if you just tilted or twisted. In yoga, it's a really cool opportunity to learn about your body. When else during the day do we study our own body, right? So this is a really cool way to figure out, how do our hips feel? What shape can I make with my legs? How does it feel if I push my knee a little bit farther open? Does it feel good? All right, and then just relax that. Now what I want us to do is cross that left foot over the right knee. So again, have you twisted at all? Have we tilted? Sometimes the legs are heavy and it takes us out of our neutral position. Remember, neutral, I want us to stay in a straight line. So your spine comes straight. We're not making any sort of S curves or snakes. Take the left hand and just gently push the left knee open. See what I've done there? So I've just gently pressed the knee open. What this is doing is stretching down that left hip all the way up and through the glutes. Stay soft across the shoulders. Notice your breathing. We breathe in and breathe out. When we breathe slow like that and we think about it, it's called active breathing, or we can name it our two-part breath. Part one is inhale. Part two is exhale. And release the foot. Go ahead and just wiggle the legs and the hips a little bit back and forth. Good, releasing through the back. Take our time now. We'll roll over onto our side and slowly sit all the way up, coming over onto hands and knees. Finding ourselves in tabletop position. Tabletop is just like it sounds. We need to make ourselves into a table, right? We have to serve our tea on the flat of our back. How we do this is we bring our hands right underneath our shoulders, take our knees right underneath our hips. Now, when we're doing this, I want your hands spread out. Okay, so you're taking your fingers and really spreading them out. All right, that's going to help us balance. Draw in your bellies, keep your backs flat, and if your toes are curled underneath of you, go ahead and just relax those. That's going to help stretch those top of your feet too. Taking our spinal balance, reach your right arm forward, point your thumb up to the sky as if you were shaking someone's hand. See? Shake, shake, shake. Good. Take your left foot back now and see if you can balance. So we've got opposite arm and leg, right arm forward, left leg back. Then we come into tabletop position. Again, left arm forward and then right leg back, drawing a straight line from fingers to heel and lower down. We'll do that with our breathing. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale. Watch your elbows aren't locked, they stay soft. Inhale, right. Exhale. Inhale, left. Exhale. We'll do one more each side. Inhale, right. Exhale. Inhale, left. Exhale. Good. From tabletop position, let's take our cows and cats. We start with cow. Take your tailbone and bring it up to the ceiling. Open up through your heart center all the way to the crown of your head. And then cat, we take that tailbone, round it, draw your belly button up, stretch through your shoulders and tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale, untuck the tailbone, open up to cow, tall through the crown. Exhale into cat, tailbone tucks under, belly button pulls in, open those shoulder blades, tuck the chin. One more time each. Cow position, we open up. And cat, tuck the tailbone, round the back, draw those bellies in. Push back into child's pose. Child's pose, we sink our hips as low as they'll go into your feet. Reach those arms forward and then relax our head. Some of us might get our foreheads to the floor. That's really nice. We can relax the weight of the head down into the ground. We want to reach our hands, press them into the ground, pushing away from the floor. That's going to really help stretch through our shoulders and our back. And then again, just watch that you're not curling your toes underneath of you, but the flat part of your feet where your shoelaces would sit is flat on the floor. That's going to help stretch out the top of our feet. From here, let's take our thread the needle. Bring our right arm underneath your left, laying in that right ear. So I'll show it from the side and the front. So if we were to bring our right arm underneath the other, we'll lay into that right ear, stretching through the right shoulder. And switching sides, we come through the middle, Take the left arm, thread it underneath the right shoulder. We lay into our left ear. Again, that's just if we can take our head to the floor. Some of us might not be down that low today, that's okay. Just listen to your body. It's super important to do the moves properly for your body. We'll all look a little bit different. And then coming through the front. Okay, now let's come up into tabletop position again. We're getting ready for a lunge. So we start by taking runner's lunge, which means right foot comes all the way up between our hands. So if you can take your knee, stack it properly right on top of your ankle, we'll work our way up to kneeling position. So we find our balance first. Maybe we're a little wobbly. Just readjust the position here. Roll the shoulders down. Take your zipper, zip, 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 really nice and tall. Reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling. Okay, now watch that our shoulders didn't come up too. We want to keep the shoulders down. So if I show you again while you're holding that, just from the side, from tabletop, it was right foot forward, knee above ankle. We come up, we zip, 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 reach the arms tall. Holding it here. Now my one point of suggestion that people could try here is closing your eyes. See how you're balancing is changed when we close our eyes. Maybe we lift a little taller, wearing that tall crown on the roof of our head. Good. Very nice, everyone. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, bring those hands down. Slowly sweep the foot back behind and switch sides. We bring the left foot forward instead. Line the knee up right on top of the ankle. Why we do this is so that we're not going so far past our toe that we're putting pressure on our knee. We don't want to hurt ourselves. In yoga, we really take care of our body, okay? When you're ready, come up for balance. Make sure your hips and shoulders face forward. Big lift up. Roll those shoulders down. Watch that your belly hasn't come out. We want to zip up. That's practicing good body awareness, good posture. We're using our core control. Keep lifting. And now my challenge, my suggestion. See if you can close your eyes. Check your balance now with the left foot forward. Are you gripping your toes or are you lengthening them? Are your toes nice and long? Good. One more big inhale. Exhale, hands down. Bring your knee back. Again, let's come back into child's pose. Sink the hips. Reach those arms and then relax the head. This time from child's pose, another shoulder stretch. We're walking our hands all the way over to the right. Pull away from that left pinky finger and reach back through your left hip. Amazing stretch down the left side of our body. Nice big breaths. Stretching the lats or the shoulders the other way now. We walk all the way over to the left side. And then we pull away from that right side, very gentle. In yoga, there's no competition, there's no expectation, and there's no judgment. We simply listen to our body. We do the move that fits our body's needs today, however we need to do that. We're just being safe. Good, hold it here, and then walk back through the middle. Now, taking ourselves into a little flow series. I want us to come forward onto hands and knees into a modified plank. So this is the position facing front. We're going to turn to the side so you can see me a little better. So from child's pose, we come forward into a kneeling plank. Shoulders are stacked above hands. Hips are coming forward so that we're in a plank position if we were to just straighten out our legs. See how I did that? I'll do that again. So from modified plank, if you just lift your legs up, you're already set in a good plank position. Now, from modified plank, we come into our baby crocodile. That means we just bend the elbows a little bit so we can hold our body up, hovering above the water, like we're peeking out of the water like a little crocodile. And then press yourself straight up, keeping your back super flat, into plank. Press back into child's pose. We'll do this 3 times. Ready? Big inhale, come forward into kneeling plank. Exhale, hover down into baby crocodile. Press straight up into kneeling plank. Push back into child's pose. 2 more. Inhaling, come forward. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, press straight up. Exhale, push back. 1 more time. Ready? Inhale, come forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press straight up. Exhale, push back. Really nicely done. From here, curl the toes, lift the hips up into what's called down dog. Now, in down dog, I'm going to do it from the front so you can see. I want your hands placed a little bit wider than your shoulders. Spread those fingers. Feet are about hips width distance. So now I'll turn to the side so you can see. You're going to draw your belly buttons in really nice and tight. Keep your backs flat. Reaching those arms forward. Try to drop your heels towards the floor. Notice how much space is between your heels and the ground. Is it a soccer ball? Is it an apple? Is it a grape? Is it a piece of paper? That's going to really stretch the back of your leg. Very nice. From here, I want us to come forward into our plank. We can take our knees to the floor and then slowly, slowly lower. This is called chaturanga. Slowly lower all the way down to the floor. Good control. Scoop ourselves up into baby cobra. Pull those shoulder blades together, long necks, looking forward. Lift the chest up and then press back all the way into down dog. Just notice that your neck is relaxed. It's hanging between your arms. Looking back at your feet, relax those feet towards the floor. And then again, let's inhale forward into plank. Take our knees to the floor. Chaturanga. Slow lower. Scoop up for baby cobra. Pull the shoulder blades together, lift the chest, long necks. And then press back into down dog. We're going to do that flow series 1 more time. Ready? Inhale forward into plank. Knees to the floor. Exhale, chaturanga. Resist the lower, slow control. Inhale, scoop up for baby cobra. This time, push back into child's pose. Sink those hips back. Press the arms forward. Relax your foreheads down. Couple big breaths here. Good. From here, I want us to come forward into tabletop. Tabletop being hands and knees again. Notice knees are as far apart as my hip bones and my hands are as far apart as my shoulders. Taking ourselves into pigeon pose. We're going to set this up a little bit differently. What I need us to do first is sweep the right foot up between our hands like runner's lunge. Heel toe that foot over towards your left hand. And then drop the knee towards your right hand. So see how I've got my right leg up with my hands? And then I press my left leg all the way back. I'm gonna turn to the side. So if anyone was confused, you just hold on, I'll do it again. So from tabletop, we sweep our right foot up into runner's lunge. Heel toe that foot across towards our left hand. We take our knee down towards our right hand and we press that left leg back. So now we are balanced up on our knees and our feet. From our pigeon pose, I want us to come all the way down onto our hands, our elbows, or we can even lay down on our fists. I'll face front so people can see. While we're here, I want us to really, really just relax. Take a couple nice big breaths. Stretching through our right hip. Take our time. Sit over onto that right hip. Sweep our legs around. And before we do the other side, I want us to sit up really tall, drawing our feet in. We're going to come into butterfly. So before we do the next side for pigeon, we'll sit tall in butterfly. What we need to do here is glue our feet together, glue all 10 toes nice and tight, glue our heels, and then hold our ankles. So I don't want us gripping our feet just so we don't hurt them accidentally. We hold our strong ankles instead, sitting up really tall, pressing those knees down towards the floor. Start hinging forward. We can keep our elbows tucked in, or we can use them to press the knees open a little bit more. And when we feel a bit of a stretch coming through the hips or the inner thighs, go ahead and drop your head down a little bit lower. Sometimes I'll say nose to toes, so you can see if you can get your nose, how far they are away from your toes. Big breaths. Slowly rolling up. Good. Helping those knees in and re-sweep them back up into tabletop. We'll repeat our pigeon pose now with the left leg coming forward. So if we can take that left foot up into runner's lunge, now we'll heel toe across towards the right hand, letting the knee fall in towards the left hand. So we've got the knee and the foot up as close to the front as we can get it. And then we press that right leg back. So if you were to try to line yourself up, you're going to keep your hips and shoulders facing the front, and you're keeping that back leg as straight back behind you as possible. I'll show you again from the side. With that left foot forward, we heel toe it towards the right foot, drop the knee down, and then that back leg presses back. So see how it's kind of lining up here with the long part of my mat? And then this short leg up front is lining up with the short part, the front of the mat. We can take our hands down, come down onto our arms, or come down all the way onto our forehead. Wherever it is that we've positioned, I want you to imagine your back is staying flat. Remember that tea party we're going to have, keeping your back like a table? Let's imagine that we could still have that tea party now, and we're not twisting or leaning on our hip. So if you find that you're laying on your hip and you're not really feeling a stretch, it's because you're not doing the pose properly. So instead of leaning on the hip, I want you to lift yourself all the way up. So you're resting on the shin, the knee and the foot, and then your back knee and your back foot. For those of us who have been holding this, we just have one more big breath. And then we can roll over onto that hip, sweeping the legs around to the front. This time, instead of butterfly, I want us to take our legs straight. Sitting up as tall as we can. See how flat my back is? So instead of sitting here slouchy, I want us to roll the shoulders, pull the bellies in, sit up really nice and tall. Legs are together with toes pointing up to the ceiling, heels on the floor. We're coming into a forward fold. We inhale, lift our hands up. Now exhale, keep our back flat, hinge as far forward as we can. Maybe it's not very far, maybe it's really far. Listen to your body, figure out where it is today. And then when we feel a really good stretch, I want you just to relax your arms down and tuck your chin. Now you can round your back. You might feel this down your neck into your head, maybe even down your back. That's just a good stretch. We're taking our backs and we're lengthening them. We're pulling that elastic a little bit longer. And if you're feeling this all behind your knees, that's okay too. We take a big inhale and a big exhale. Feel the stretch. Notice what it feels like. Notice where we're feeling it. And we can write that down in our imaginary yoga journal. Take that x-ray, put it in our medical records, right? It's kind of like going to the doctors. We're taking all these notes about ourselves, learning a little bit about how we're feeling today. Now slowly rolling ourselves up. Good. Now I'm going to turn to the front so you can see a little bit better again. From this seated position, sitting tall like this is called staff. S-T-A-F-F, staff. Sitting up just like, like a wizard's cane. They're walking around with that big stick, really nice and sturdy, straight. That's what we are right now. We're like a wizard's cane, our staff. From here, we're taking ourselves into a spinal twist. Spine being the long part of your body, and then we're going to twist. So I need us to take our right foot, bring it up towards our knee, bending, and then really, really tall. Go ahead with your left arm, give that right knee a big hug, and then look over the right shoulder. So it's the opposite arm. I'll do that again. Left arm holds right knee, sit up really, really tall. Don't forget your crown on top of your head, and look over your right shoulder. Just a little twist. Stretching out like a wet towel, just wringing it out a little bit. And then taking ourselves through the middle. Taking ourselves through the middle. And we're going to get ready to do the other side. Just watch. Taking that left foot and placing it beside. Go ahead and grab the knee with your right arm this time. Rotate looking over the left shoulder. Sitting up really tall. If I turn to the side, you'll be able to see that as I draw the knee up, I don't bend or slouch the back, and then I look over that shoulder. Because if we slouch and we twist, we're not really doing much at all, right? You need the muscles to be in their long neutral position, and then we can get a stretch. Returning forward again, take those legs out long, taking ourselves all the way down into Shavasana. So we lower ourselves down, take your time, reposition yourself on the mat if you've moved at all. We're coming into Shavasana. This is how we end every single yoga class. So as a reminder, we lengthen our legs out, we take them a little bit wider, maybe as wide as our hips. Roll the shoulders down, palms face up to the ceiling. Head turns so that the nose is pointing straight up to the sky. Now I want everybody to close our eyes. Laying here, Shavasana is the Sanskrit term. That's just the language that yoga is in for corpse pose, like a skeleton. I want us to lay perfectly still. Notice if we're fidgety or scratchy or wiggly. See if you can practice stillness. It's very hard to do. It's hard not to fidget. So I want us to practice that. See if we can lay here with the only thing moving is our belly. We take a big inhale. We feel our stomach, our chest rise to the ceiling. And then with our exhale, it deflates like a balloon and we melt into the floor. Big inhale, lifting up. And big exhale. I want everyone to keep practicing their inhale and their exhale. We call this breath our 3-part breath. 1, 2, 3. Part 1 is filling the stomach area. Part 2 is coming all the way up through the chest. We pause. Part 3, we exhale every last drop of air. Again, inhale, we fill up through the diaphragm, living in our belly. Part 2, we fill up the chest. We can't get any more air in, we pause. Part 3, we breathe everything out. I want everyone to do that just a couple of more times. Notice how when we practice our breathing like this, we're able to feel our heart rate slow down. We feel our body cool, maybe get a little bit colder. We feel more relaxed. Maybe we even feel a little bit calm or happy. We're going to do one more big breath in together, and then we'll take a big sigh at the end so you can breathe out really nice and loud. So we'll breathe in. Ready? Here we go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Let's do that one more time because it feels good. Ready? Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Good. Wiggling our fingers and our toes, rolling our wrists and ankles in circles. Go ahead and give your knees a big hug again, maybe rocking side to side. Notice anything that feels maybe a little bit different. And then we can roll over onto our sides through baby pose, like a little fetal position. Pick yourself all the way up, and we press ourselves into our seated pose. We sit up really nice and tall here. Now, seated pose, we can do this a few different ways. We can do it crisscross applesauce. Instead of hands in the basket, we put our hands on our knees. You could also do half lotus, which means you've got one foot across the knee, the other foot on the floor. The last option here, you could do full lotus, which means one foot stacked on the knee, and then, see if I can do it today. The other foot stacked on the other knee. So see how I've got both feet raised up on the knees? No matter which position is more comfortable for you, then we take our hands onto the legs with our palms open, and you can press your pointer finger and thumb together. Sitting up really nice and tall here. Again, imagine that crown on top of your head. Our final goodbye in yoga. We take a big inhale, hands come all the way up above our head to prayer. Exhale down through heart center. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you.